company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, new details emerge in the case of the 3 women who were found dead in a hotel room in San Pedro, including the autopsy results. 3 men fined for aiding criminal activity in Santa Elena and with possible links to extremist sect are sent back to Guatemala. Prime Minister John Briceño addresses UDP's no-show on nomination day. And we take you to Belmopan for the inauguration of the newly renovated and relocated Dorothy Menzies Child Care Center. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Wednesday, February 26, 2025.
Escape to paradise. Centaur is giving you the chance to win an unforgettable getaway at the breathtaking Orchid Bay Resort. Picture this: a stunning beach and a relaxing poolside retreat. One lucky winner will enjoy an overnight stay for 2 plus a delicious breakfast, all courtesy of Orchid Bay Resort. How to enter? Sign up for any Centaur service or stay up to date with your payments for a chance to win. Live raffle draw on April 16th on the Despierta Belize show. Enter now to win with Centaur.
Is your internet struggling to reach every corner of your home? Say goodbye to dead zones. Introducing Villo, your ultimate solution for seamless internet coverage. Whether you're streaming, gaming, working from home, or scrolling through social media, Villo delivers a fast, reliable Wi-Fi where you need it most. As a valued Centaur internet customer, you can be one of the first to access Villo free of cost. For more information, call 380-0101.
Good evening with your news answer, Simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Avron Dinkel and Shaim Malka, both American citizens, along with Canadian nationals Moshe Yadia Alter, made their court appearance in San Ignacio Magistrates Court yesterday after being intercepted in Santa Elena for their alleged involvement in criminal activities. While Dinkel and Malka were charged with aiding in the commission of a crime, Yadia Alter was charged for illegal entry into the country. After a brief hearing, the trio was convicted and fined $1,000 each. They received a default sentence of 3 months in prison, but were able to pay their fines and subsequently requested permission to return to Guatemala. Authorities have suggested that Dinkel, Malka, and Alter may have potential ties for the controversial Leftar sect, which is currently under scrutiny in Central America. Significant implications surround the group as members face serious allegations in Guatemala, where officials launched a rescue operation late last year, freeing 160 children and 40 women from the sect. The rescue operation unveiled disturbing accusations of rape, forced marriages, and human trafficking linked to Leftar. The sector's leader remained detained in El Salvador and Mexico pending extradition hearings. The families of 3 young women tragically found dead at the Royal Kyle Beach Resort are mourning the sudden and heartbreaking loss. As we told you before, 23-year-old Qatar Nakwad, 24-year-old Iman Mala, and 26-year-old Wafi Al-Rarar were discovered unresponsive in their suite on Saturday by hotel staff who noted they had not responded to repeated housekeeping calls. All 3 women of Moroccan descent and U.S. citizens were enjoyed a much-anticipated getaway when the unfathomable occurred. Tonight, there are new details in the death of the 3 women, including the results of the autopsy that was conducted on Monday. Those details were revealed today by Commissioner of Police Chester Williams and Jian Cho, Executive Director, National Forensic Science Service, as they spoke to CBS News in Boston.
The lead examiner concluded the cause of death, the terminal cause of death, to be acute pulmonary edema. And the antecedent causes, we would call them, or due to, is still pending investigation. So acute pulmonary edema was determined by the medical examiner to have been the cause of death for all three victims. And what led to acute pulmonary edema is what is pending investigation. And that term simply means that we need to do further testing on samples taken from the bodies during autopsy. So as part of the standard process for the postmortem examination, samples are taken not only of blood, but also vitreous humor, some tissue samples, stomach contents as well. And so to be able to provide the laboratory testing for the medical examiner to get that information as to what may have led to acute pulmonary edema. That is where we are now with those further testing.
As mentioned by Chaw, further testing is expected and the results of those tests may take up to a month to be released.
The process for further testing involves three different sections or scopes, if you will. The first one that we will start this week is to try to identify what types of controlled substances or drugs, if any, were in some of the samples taken from the scene. So these were from different items that would have been collected from the hotel room to see if there were any controlled substances found in those. But those are not from the autopsy samples. So those are part of the scene investigation. So that is underway, or that will start this week. By next week, we should have an idea of what types of substances, if any, were found in the room. The toxicology samples, which is the blood and the tissue samples, are taken from autopsy. We will start with sending those out to the USA, as there's a laboratory that we use in the USA where we outsource advanced toxicology that we cannot do in country. And upon receipt of those samples at that laboratory, the turnaround time that we're requesting is on the expedited schedule, and we should be able to get some results within anywhere from 7 to 14 days. It's hard to peg down an exact turnaround time if the toxicology analysis yields various analytes in the samples. Analytes meaning the substances, whether drugs or poisons or chemicals. If there's multiple findings, then we have to confirm, or the lab has to confirm the quantities or the concentration, and so that can cause a longer period of time for results to be obtained.
To rule out all possible angles, a carbon monoxide test was conducted. However, no traces of the gas were found in the room.
Our firefighters went to the room on yesterday around 2, along with 2 other police officers, to do the testing for carbon monoxide presence, and they found nothing. And just to make sure that to be safe, we went back again this morning around 11 o'clock, and we tried to recreate the similar environment which the ladies would have been in. So close the doors, the AC, things like that. And again, we found nothing again this morning. So at this point, we're basically ruling out the presence of carbon monoxide in that room.
Procedure that examines tissue samples under a microscope is also expected. As mentioned, the police, led by Commissioner Chester Williams, have revealed that a pathologist has estimated the women had been deceased for approximately 20 hours before their bodies were found. While initial assessments indicate no external signs of injury, investigators are exploring the possibility of a drug overdose, as authorities have pointed out the presence of vomit and froth around the women's mouths, leading to concerns about substance involvement. However, family members are questioning this conclusion. Mala's family, who spoke to WCVB, that is Boston, are particularly skeptical and express their belief that their loved one did not overdose. Here is WCVB's report.
This community is deeply shaken by these deaths, and people who knew these young women are not satisfied with the answers coming out of Belize. Friends and family gathering in grief tonight, trying to process the loss of 3 promising young lives.
Wafa, Iman, and Kotar were some of the best people I've ever known.
Pashar Al-Kafawi grew up with these women, Wefe El-Aura, Iman Mala, and Kotar Nakid.
They were so loved and cherished in this community. It's a tragedy. Everybody has grown up with these girls.
The 3 women in their 20s on their first big girls' trip in Belize when they were found dead in their San Pedro hotel room on Saturday.
The bodies exhibited no signs of injuries. Police also saw inside the room what appeared to be vomiting beside each female.
Belize officials say gummies and alcohol were recovered from the room, but friends are skeptical.
They're respectful. They wouldn't do the stuff that people are saying they would. They all were growing in life. They had plans.
We're getting stonewalled. You know, Belize people are just saying their side of the story, but I'm sure there's more to it.
Revere City Councilor Ira Novoselsky says Kotar was his neighbor and tenant. He's now helping her family. He also cautions people not to rush to judgment.
They were good kids. They were all in the medical field.
Iman's parents telling us tonight about the daughter they've lost.
She was a strong person, and she was always happy, smiley face, friendly with people.
Humble.
Yeah, humble.
While these families want answers, the focus now is on bringing these 3 young women home. In Revere, I'm Mary Saladin, WCVB News Center 5.
Of note is that Mayor Patrick M. Keefe Jr., the mayor of Revere City, Massachusetts, issued a statement on Tuesday addressing the deaths of the 3 women. He stated, "On behalf of the entire city of Revere, I extend my condolences to their families and loved ones during this time of unimaginable loss." Mayor Keefe Jr. went on to outline the travel advisory that the United States had labeled Belize with in December 2024, where it advised travelers to exercise increased caution in Belize due to crime. Today, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams assured visitors that there is no need to be concerned when traveling to Belize.
I would maintain that Belize is still a relatively safe country. I can tell you that we rank among the countries with the lowest incidence against tourists in our country. We cannot say at this time that what happened to the young ladies leading to the death was caused by Belizeans, and so we don't want it to be imputed that there is something done by Belizeans that caused the death of these young women. But anybody watching and may have hopes of coming to Belize, I would invite them to keep the hope and make the trip. We are a friendly nation. Our people are from different walks of life. We are like a melting pot. You can find almost every ethnicity of people in Belize. And though we're from different walks of life and different ethnicities, we live together as one. And that's what makes us very unique and friendly. So feel free, come and see what our country has to offer.
The Statistical Institute of Belize released Belize's most recent economic report for the month of January 2025. Looking first at the Consumer Price Index CPI, SIB reveals that Belize's inflation rate rose by 2.2% in January 2025 compared to the same month last year, with price hikes reflected in food, housing, and transport. According to SIB, the CPI rose from 117.3 to 119.8. Food and non-alcoholic beverages saw a price increase of 2.2%, with fruits like watermelon and pineapples rising by over 16%, and cereal products like bread and tortillas climbing by 2.8%. Meanwhile, fresh vegetable price dropped by 4.2%. The cost of non-alcoholic beverages surged by 7.6%, particularly for fruit juices and purified water. Housing costs also contributed heavily to the overall rise in inflation, rising by 2.8%, mainly due to higher home rental prices and an increase in the cost of liquefied petroleum gas (LPG), which jumped by $8.21 per cylinder. Transport costs saw a modest rise of 2%, driven by increased intercity taxi fares and higher international airfare prices. According to the SIB, some categories saw a decline in prices. The information and communication sector dropped by 1.5%, primarily due to lower costs for electronics like cellular phones and TVs. In the municipalities, Belmopan experienced the highest inflation with a sharp 4.5% increase in consumer prices, particularly in food, household goods, and transport services. In the north, Orange Walk saw inflation of 2.3%, while Corozal Tong was among the highest, with an inflation rate of 3.7%. SIB reported that despite the year-over-year inflation increase, the month-over-month change from December 2024 to January 2025 was a slight decrease of 0.2% attributed to lower food prices. Coming up next, 15 Belizean businesses secure funding under BEEP's Maturing Enterprises Initiative to boost growth and innovation. Stay tuned.
Yo, Empress Melcy Productions in collaboration with Vibes Alive International presents
Reggae by the River 2025.
It's a first of its kind Sunday reggae vibes alongside the mighty New River at the Banquitas Open Lawn, featuring conscious music, delicious food and drinks, plus a wide variety of adult beverages.
Musical niceness by
David Echostone of 5-Star International, DJ Bilo of Belizean Jugglers, DJ Mix of Vibes Alive International, Mr. Jerez of Freshmatic Sound,
DJ Jesse of Rascal Sound, DJ Dynasty, Reggae Dutch.
Reserve your cocktail tables or apply for vendor space now by calling 670-9579 or 669-8233 or 612-7225. Also, bottle service will be available on local and imported. Enough prizes and giveaways. 3 for 10 Bellikin beer special between 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. while supplies last.
Sponsored by Madisco, the Belize Tourism Board, Niche, Quayos Distillery Limited, Bellikin, Belize Freights LLC Dallas, Coral Packing and Delivery Dallas, AAA Imports, Hotel Maria Isabel, Centaur Communications, Honorable Kevin Bernard, Honorable Cordell Hyde.
All going down on Sunday, March 9. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for lineup updates and additional details.
In a busy nomination day filled with political maneuvering, the Elections and Boundaries Department announced yesterday that it received a total of 90 nominations from various parties as they prepare for the upcoming elections. The incumbent People's United Party, PUP, stepped forward with a total of 31 nominees, positioning themselves firmly for the forthcoming electoral battle. The fractured United Democratic Party presented a total of 41 candidates. This number includes candidates under both the leadership of Shine Barrow and Tracy Panton. But as you know, 5 candidates who were announced under the Shine Barrow banner did not get nominated on Monday. They are Dean Samuels in Pickstock, Melvin Hewlett in Fort George, Nerman Usher in Dangraga, Dennis Williams in Toledo East, who did not make it to the nomination centers, and Raymond Rivers in Colette, who was unable to find 6 persons to nominate him. With Samuels and Hewlett disqualified, the key electoral divisions of Fort George and Pickstock witnessed the automatic declaration of Anthony Mahler and Henry Charles Usher as the duly elected representatives of the constituencies. What happened on nomination day indicates further fragmentation within the UDP ranks and puts Barrow's leadership into question. He, however, is unwilling to accept that notion.
What we saw from at least 3 of the candidates was Again, there's speculation that they were paid off, allegations paid off by the People's United Party. At least one of them, Mr. Samuels, provided a medical slip that Mr. Samuels aside, there's no reasonable explanation to wait until a few hours before nomination.
And this is the first time the UDP has not put up candidates in constituencies. Do you find this a failing of your leadership?
I challenge that. Why did these candidates not say, you know what, Mr. Barrow failed us, so we're going with Tracy and we try and make it work, right? So obviously it wasn't a failure on my part. Something happened the hours before it was time to go, but if it was indeed a failure, let's be reasonable. Wouldn't they have crossed over because they were courted? I know there were meetings had within the last couple of weeks where they were trying to court all of the people that support me to make their 31.
Without a full slate, Barrow says he is rooting for the independent candidates, including former sitting area representative Elvia Vega Samos in Corozal Bay.
I spoke to Will Mejia yesterday, and we fully support his candidacy in Toledo East. I also spoke with Mr. Cyril Garcia from Dangriga. He's the independent candidate. In all fairness, I have not spoken to Ms. Vega. I don't want anyone to misconstrue what I'm saying. We do support her, and we are prepared to help as much as the candidates would like us to be involved. But
Prime Minister John Briceño today also weighed in on the situation of the UDP, who saw a total of 5 of its candidates not showing up for nomination day. This situation made way for the automatic victory for 2 candidates from the PUP. Both Honorable Anthony Mahler of Pickstock and Honorable Henry Charles Usher from Fort George were sworn in as the area representatives of their respective constituencies on Monday. Unlike many who have cited the situation as a failure in the country's democratic process, the PM thinks otherwise.
I think I need to start with that last part of your question, that it's not a failure of democracy. That is democracy. People decide who they want. In this instance, nobody felt that they wanted. They felt that I quite likely feel that Anthony Mahler has been doing a great job. So why will I go and try to challenge Anthony Mahler if he's doing a good job? Why will I challenge him if I believe that the people are supporting him? I'll be wasting my time, my effort, and a little bit of resources. So it's not a failure. It's a true testament to the strength of the democratic process in Belize.
So the leader of the opposition is alleging that you guys paid off his candidates to not show up.
I guess desperate statements during desperate times and trying to find an excuse. It is obvious that the person who was there had felt that he doesn't have a chance to win, and they felt that Anthony, by any measurement, Anthony has been doing a tremendous work, a job as the area representative in the Pickstock division. So why will you go against a person that you know what the results are going to be, that you're going to lose? If you look at it, what the leader of the opposition is trying to do, all he's trying to do is he's thinking beyond this general election. He's thinking about his election as leader of the party. Because after this election, it is well known after the general elections that the UDP will have a national convention. And it is important for him to field candidates, just to field candidates, knowing that they're not win, but he wants to be able to do that so that then he could control the delegates. So I don't expect anything less from the leader of the opposition.
In terms of the quarrel within the UDP about the assignment of the traditional red color to both fractions within the party, PM Briceño says the elections and boundaries cannot be faulted as they are simply doing the best in a really bad situation.
We need to understand something, that the Elections and Boundaries Commission is independent of the government. And I think they're trying to come up with the best out of the bad situation where both parties are claiming they're UDPs, they're legitimate UDPs. If you look at it, Mr. Barrow eked out a victory for the convention. And when Ms. Panton asked for a recount, the chairman then said, no recount if you want to go to court. and he won, what, I think two votes, was it? Three votes, you know, and she felt that she was taken advantage of, so she wanted a recall. And the chairman, for obvious reasons, decided, you know what, end it right here, you don't like it, go to court. Tracy continued working the constitution of the UDP as far as I'm concerned. I'm not an expert in their constitution. I don't study their constitution. But from what I've been told, she has followed the constitution. She went and visited different areas. And if you have a number of signatures from the different divisions calling for a convention, it is incumbent of the chairman to call for this convention. And when he refuses to do so, he can't contravene the constitution. So what did she do? The next best thing, went ahead and followed the constitution, called for a convention, and so she was elected as an interim leader in her mind. Now, who is right? I don't know. That's between them, and I don't interfere in their inter-party politics. But now here you have two persons claiming to be the leader of the UDP. So what do you want? What do you want the Elections and Boundaries or EDC do? I think they're trying to come up with the best that they can out of a very bad situation.
Residents from across Corozal Town are being invited to be a part of an exciting cultural experience this weekend in front of the Corozal Town Hall, where the first ever Japan Day will be hosted. Japan Day festivities are being organized by JICA volunteer in the Corozal district, Anna Shirai, with the hope of sharing some of the rich cultural diversities of the Japanese culture. The open day will include a number of activities traditional to Japanese culture, including Japanese calligraphy, origami, mosaic art, and even authentic Japanese sushi. The event will be happening in front of the Corozal Town Hall on Saturday, March 1st, starting at 10:30 a.m.
The event is Japan Day. Japan Day is like a first Japanese culture event here in Corozal. And we will prepare some Japanese culture booths. Let me show like a Japanese calligraphy, and you can write your name in Japanese. You can write love, you can write family, God in Japanese characters. And another is origami booth. Origami is Japanese traditional paper craft. You can make everything from paper. And next is Japanese traditional clothes booth, yukata booth. You can put on Japanese traditional clothes and take a picture. This booth is free. You can come and enjoy Japanese culture. Okay.
The event will be catering to both children and adults with a host of different exciting activities happening throughout the day. The day will also include a grand Japanese karaoke and traditional ball game tournament where participants can win small prizes.
This is in front of Corozal Town Council, between Corozal Town Council and Corozal Central Park. And time, the event will start at 10:30 a.m. and event will finish 3 p.m. And end of the event, a lot of students in Corozal Town Council will come and sing Japanese song together. Okay, yes. Okay, in this Japanese event, I want to show my appreciation to the people in Belize who accepted me. So like a town, students, teachers, and I want everyone to enjoy my Japanese culture, Japanese food, like a Japanese anime culture. So I want everyone to come and enjoy my Japan Day.
Once more, Japan Day activities kick off at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, May 1st in front of the Corozal Town Council. Since their launch in August of 2024, the Belize Enterprise Empowerment Project, better known as BEEP, under Beltrade, have been working with entrepreneurs from across the country, and today, 15 businesses were awarded funding to help grow their business. This time around, awardees were selected under the Maturing Businesses category as they seek to improve already established business ideas. The BEEP program, according to the Executive Director Ishmael Kiros, includes comprehensive training, allowing participants to touch base in areas of financial development, digital media marketing, and creating investment plans.
Here we have a seed capital grant ceremony. It's awarding 15 entrepreneurs under the maturing category of enterprise that have participated in this call for awards. And so the way that it has worked is that people have put forward business ideas, proposing innovative concepts. They have gone through evaluations, and so it's been very competitive.
Over 200 small proposals were submitted, according to Karas, highlighting the entrepreneurial spirit in our country, particularly in the areas of the blue, green, and orange economies.
So the Belize Enterprise Empowerment Project, BEEP, is a CARICOM Development Fund funded initiative. It originally started as a loan for on-lending, but it was repurposed into a grant at the request of Prime Minister Briceño. And so it afforded 800,000 Belize dollars to be available for grant distribution. Of course, it's been a process of selecting the top performers of people who apply. And so it's been a partnership together with the CDF, but also with Niche, with the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and with the Development Finance Corporation, who have served on our evaluation panel.
Now, while this is the first cohort of businesses awarded under the Maturing Businesses, Beltrade says it is working with other prospects within the country to ensure continuity.
This is the first cohort where three categories, the startup, the maturing, and the exports, have been awarded seed capital. There will be at least two subsequent calls looking at another round of maturing businesses being encouraged to apply, as well as startups. And so keep on the lookout for the opportunity. The idea is really to have a successful second cohort, and then to see where that takes us, and to continue it. There's a lot of really positive attention that has been gathered, and so we're very thankful to the CARICOM Development Fund for this opportunity, and we're certainly hoping that other, opportunities will present themselves down the road.
Each of the 15 awardees received a total of 7,000 Belize dollars, which is earmarked for market strategies and growth potential. The government of Belize, in collaboration with the Belize Social Investment Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank, today officially inaugurated the newly renovated and relocated Dorothy Menzies Child Care Center. Previously in Belize City, the center now stands in Maya Mopan, Bamopan, providing a safe haven for children in foster care. Amenities include an administration building, 2 dormitories, a laundry and storage area, office spaces, a computer resource room, activity areas, and a playground. The building was also designed to be accessible for persons with disabilities. The new center, according to Prime Minister John Briceño, reflects the government's unwavering dedication to the country's youth.
Well, I think it's very important. Many of these kids that come here come from some really bad situations. And we need to set a place where they can feel loved, they can feel safe, and that we could try to in a way fix them. Because many of them mentally, they have been abused sexually, they've been physically abused. And so that by having a special center providing all the amenities, we're hoping that we can fix them in a sense. As what Kim Menzies mentioned, she has seen boys, young men and women, young professionals that have been at the Dorothy Menzies Center and who have managed to do something with their lives. We want to offer hope to these children. The center in Belize City got too small, and they felt that we need to find somewhere bigger. This is only a portion of the land. It's 2.5 acres, so we have a lot more land for expansion to be able to provide probably a basketball court, volleyball court, things for the kids to be able to live a happy and productive childhood.
The news center now in place, Special Envoy for the Development of Women and Children, Her Excellency Rosana Briceño, says her office is ready to work along with the pertinent stakeholders to ensure development for the most vulnerable in our community.
It makes that connection to the children that don't have a place to go or don't have a house, a safe space. Working with children, most of the time, the children that I've been involved with, they have a home. You know, as a principal, a former educator, there's always somebody, a guardian, a parent. Unfortunately, the flip side of this, that we have children that don't. And it's not their fault, it's not by choice. They're caught up in situations, and sometimes it's children that need to be removed from their homes because it's obviously not the safest place to be. Or sometimes they've just been given up, you know, they give them up. And so the Ortimensis home obviously creates that safe space for these children. And I like to think that children, because we know for a fact that children don't stay small forever. They grow up. And if they are in a nurturing environment, a safe environment, they grow up with good positive values and good with discipline, and they live with skills. So I think it's a home like this goes a long way for them.
Was carried out in the tune of a little over $3 million. And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Power outage notice. Belize Electricity Limited advises its customers in the Orange Rock District and portion of the Corozal District that the supply of electricity will be temporarily interrupted on Sunday, March 2nd, 2025 from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Areas to be affected: the entire Orange Rock District, including Buena Vista and Caledonia in the Corozal District. BEL apologizes for the inconvenience caused. This scheduled power outage is necessary to conduct system improvement works and maintenance of the equipment at the Orange Rock substation. You can download our BEL 24/7 app for direct updates.
For this last segment, we look at the external trade issued by the Statistical Institute, which is reporting that total imports dropped by 10.9%, down to $242.6 million in January 2025, as compared to $272.2 million in January 2024. The decrease was driven largely by a sharp decline of $28.5 million in machinery and transport equipment, a category that has spiked in 2024. SIB reported that other categories, including mineral fuels and lubricants and chemical products, also saw reductions, primarily due to lower world fuel prices and decreased fertilizer imports. Despite the overall reduction, there was growth in certain sectors. Imports of food and live animals increased by $3.8 million, driven by higher demand for orange concentrate and groceries. The commercial-free zones also saw a slight rise in imports, mainly for cigarettes and handbags. Switching over to overall exports for the month of January 2025, the Statistical Institute is reporting a total of 17.1 million, a modest 2.1% increase compared to the previous years. Despite this, certain export categories like other exports face setbacks, with a $1.8 million drop, mainly due to the absence of cattle and alcoholic beverages. Additionally, banana and sugar exports saw slight declines. Across the major destinations, a notable increase in lobster exports to countries grouped together as other resulted in a $0.9 million boost in revenue from these markets, from $0.1 million in January of last year to $1 million in January of this year. Similarly, increased exports of conch to the United States of America led to a $0.7 million rise in earnings from this country, from $2.9 million to $3.5 million. Lastly, we take a look at the SIB's latest form of measuring the country's economic state, which is the Consumer Confidence Index. The CCI is an indicator that measures consumers' sentiments with respect to general economic conditions within the country, their household's own economic situation, and making major household purchases. It provides an early indication of future household spending, investing, and saving. For the month of January 2025, the National Consumer Confidence Index (CCI) stood at 50.5, up by 5.2% from 48 in December 2024. This marked the first month since the Statistical Institute of Belize started compiling this indicator that consumer sentiments has crossed the threshold into optimism about the economy and their own economic prospects. Additionally, it further highlights the gradual improvement in overall consumer confidence since September 2024, fueled by growing optimism about future economic conditions. Sentiment among male consumers was up by 4.7% for the month, from 50.2 in December 2024 to 52.6 in January 2025. This increase was the result of improvements in the durable goods and present sub-indices, while expectations recorded a decline. Confidence among female consumers also rose, albeit by a more modest 0.8%, from 46 in December 2024 to 46.4 in January 2025. Despite reductions in both the durable goods and expectations sub-indices, female perceptions surrounding their household's current financial situation and present macroeconomic conditions increased by 11.8%, from 41.6 to 46.5. Among the 6 districts, persons living in Kaya reported the most significant increase in consumer confidence. Within this district, sentiment improved by 11.4%, from a pessimistic 47.1 in December 2024 to an optimistic 52.4 in January 2025. On the other hand, Stan Creek stood out as the only district to report reduced consumer confidence, as sentiment dropped by 6.5%, from 51.8 in December 2024 to a pessimistic 48.4 in January 2025. In January 2025, the Consumer Confidence Index improved across nearly all age groups except for persons ages 25 to 34. Within this group, sentiment was down by 1.6%, from 49.7 in December 2024 to 48.9 in January 2025, reflecting increased pessimism surrounding major purchases of durable goods and reduced optimism regarding their expectations for the future. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, February 27th, here on CTV3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at CTV3BelizeNews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at Facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.